Hello everyone, and welcome to tonight's edition of Lady Arcader's Attract Mode. My name is Charbunny, and I'm super excited to be with you for not one, but two amazing games for tonight's showcase. First off, we're going to have Rez. This will be an any percent run with Metroid Crime, a little famous around these parts, and that's a rail shooter rhythm game where our goal is to hack into a computer system who's having an existential crisis. I have never felt like a computer was so relatable before, so really excited to see how this one plays out. We'll follow that up with our second showcase in Dicey Dungeons. This will be a full game any percent run by Salkuthmind, who is amazing at this game. And for reference, how long to beat says it takes about 27 hours on average to beat the game. Cell does it in like less than an hour, with glitches, maybe a lot of glitches, possibly quite a few glitches. It's going to be amazing, so you'll want to stick around and see both of our showcases. I also want to share some announcements about Lady Arcaders. First off, really exciting, game and volunteer submissions are now open for Lady Arcaders Out of Bounds Toronto, which is our first in-person speedrunning event. Actually in person, you can see people, it's so exciting. The event takes place June 18th, 2024 at Seascape Sci-Fi Bar and Cafe in Toronto, Canada. And if you're not close to Canada, don't worry, it'll all be streamed online to this Twitch channel so you can watch along at home. The event is in participation with Toronto Games Week 2024, which is a celebration of playable arts and culture that runs from June 13th through the 19th. Run submissions close this Sunday, March 31st, 11:59 p.m. That is Eastern, so if you're like me and in Pacific time, a few less hours than that, just get your application in today and you don't have to worry about it. But run submissions close this Sunday. Make sure you mark your calendars and get those in. You have a little bit more time for on-site and remote volunteer positions. Applications for those are due April 14th. More details and links are available on our website at ladyarcaders.com. And if you can't wait all the way until June 18th, don't worry, submissions for Attract Mode showcases are always open, and we're currently scheduling for late April and early May. Send us your pitches at ladyarcaders.com/start, because we want to show off the games that you love in all the ways you love them. This can be a speedrun, this can be casual play, this can be crafting about video games. There are so many cool ways to showcase your love for gaming and share it with all of us. Type !AM into chat for a link. And looking at my calendar here, it's almost April, which means that the Lady Arcaders newsletter is in the works and just about ready to be delivered straight to your inbox. If you're not already signed up for our newsletter, go ahead and subscribe over at ladyarcaders.com/newsletter, or just type !newsletter into chat for a quick link. With that, I was going to try to come up with a pun to announce this next game, but chat beat me to it and just did a whole cavalcade of amazing puns while we were warming up for this showcase, so I'm not going to try to one-up you. I don't think I could, but I'm really excited to start things off. We are going to be joining Metroid Crime for an any percent run of Rez. Metroid Crime? Have fun! This is going to be amazing.
Hello everyone, hi, I'm Metroid Crime, and I'm super excited to show off Rez, a game from 2001, a rhythm shooter. It is so much fun. Along with me on comms, I have BigScared.
Hello, I'm BigScared. It's
Yay.
good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. And we're just going to kind of get started right away here. So we can get some music in the background here. Lots of good tunes in this game. So time is going to start as soon as I get control of my character. I will call it out. I'll try to do a countdown as best as I can. But let's go here. Let's say in 3, 2, 1, and go. Perfect. So for this game, it starts off super simple. We are a hacker, basically, traveling through a computer system. This AI that we are trapped inside right now is malfunctioning, and it's trying to defend itself from us proceeding further through its firewalls.
And as you can see, Crime has just hacked the mainframe. She's proceeded one layer deeper into the level. This run has 4 stages broadly, and each stage has 10 individual levels. She has to access them by hacking that beautiful rainbow node, going through the portal that opens up, and traversing deeper into a more challenging version of the level. They're all similar, but you'll notice that as she gets deeper and deeper, the enemies become not only more common, They become slightly stronger, they will rank up, perhaps be more aggressive, perhaps even shoot missiles at her. And so she's got to not only dodge and take them out, but navigate, gather health, and hack all at the same time. There's a lot going on in this game.
Definitely. You also notice I'm picking up these, every once in a while some enemies will drop some things, like these blue health markers. They're shaped like crosses, like 3D crosses. And then you also have these red triangular shapes that drop, and that is my overdrive. This is a double health. It's surrounded by a shield. That gives me 3 health points, versus the regular ones, that one gives me a 1. And basically what happens is our form upgrades. So now we are what I've been calling Wireframe Willy. Forms I don't believe they have official names, so we're just going with it. But you'll notice my weapon is different. It shoots these like white smoke beams out, and my form is different.
And you'll notice that there's a bar on the left side of the HUD. That is the evolution meter. Crime needs to pick up 8 individual health items. Whether they're doubles or singles doesn't really matter. You need 8 pips total, and then you will evolve forward. There are several evolutions. We've already seen the orb made of triangles. We are currently the very Kinect-like stick figure. We're also going to see skeletal humanoid polygon people that shoot smoky white balls. We're gonna see a very cool silver one that, of course, we will introduce when the time comes. And then my personal favorite, a human figure that does yoga poses. We will see that when the time comes as well. There is a hidden form that we will not see on this run because it is part of a level that is not in this category. But the hidden one is essentially a baby in a Venn diagram. It's incredible.
It is incredible.
Instead of baby, we will get orb. So I'll let you ponder what that means in the meantime.
Perfect. So I'm taking out basically as many of these large enemies as I can, and as soon as this key appears, I am going to shoot it immediately to get through to the next section, because we are doing any percent. If you're doing, like, 100% or whatnot, you want to take out all enemies and get all power-ups. And then you'd also have to do the 5th level, which we do not do on this route because it is very long and there's a boss rush at the end of it, which I am not a fan of, as beautiful as the level is.
Now, speaking of beautiful levels, you might notice that we are in one that has a wide variety of motifs. Each track visually is designed in a way that is not only inspired by the music itself, but playing with themes of like life, rebirth, finding purpose. And so there's a lot of symbology in there that is reminiscent of the devs' other games. You might recognize Tetris Effect. So if you've played that one, this might feel familiar to you in that respect. Similarly, you might be asking how much control Crime has over the character itself, and the answer is surprisingly little. She's more or less controlling just the little box around the reticle. The player character will follow in a tailing fashion, but as far as camera movement, that is out of her hands.
Yes. There are parts of the game that will kind of throw you towards one or the other side. Also, we just leveled up our form. I call this Silver Angela.
Magnificent.
Yes. We're gonna grab another health pick up there. And we are actually coming up to the first boss. Oh, okay.
Good luck.
Thank you. So this is Earth Giga. There are 3 different types of difficulty levels. If you shoot down more enemies, you end up with a more difficult boss. This is the 2nd out of 3 difficulties. So, pretty middle.
Now, I promised Orb, this was not the one that I asked y'all to ponder, but feel free to ponder it anyway. Crime has to shoot the panels off of the rotating device on the inside, and the goal of this fight is to actually shoot those glowing green dots on the, like, top-shaped centerpiece of Earth. Now, don't worry, we're not attacking the planet. These are like ships that are defensive mechanisms. It's going to shoot random missiles. You can see Crime targeting those as they come off. There's a pack of them right there. And essentially, you want to balance how much time you're spending attacking the main body of the ship to reduce the health bar at the top, and defending yourself by shooting down its projectiles. It can be tricky because, as you can see, the projectiles do come at you at a particular angle that makes their distance hard to gauge.
Yes, and especially with the camera being a little bit trailing after you, it's a little bit difficult to reach that section in time before they come flying at you. But that wasn't too bad. Take these out. Still pelting these center bits here.
This level just visually beautiful with how everything looks. This game is
Oh
amazing.
yeah, absolutely. They draw a lot of reference from a lot of different media, but Tron is one of the ones that they kind of reference for aesthetic. The name itself is actually a reference to like de-resing. So in Tron, de-resing is basically like when your player character gets killed or whatever. They ended up taking the name Res from that because res is the opposite. So res means life. And that's how they kind of came up with this, which is really cool. I'm a huge fan of Tron.
Can
Now,
definitely see the influence here.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, we have more projectiles coming at us here, but the orb has turned into Halo for some reason. And we have to continue balancing defense and offense there. And as you can see, Crime did a phenomenal job, just blasted right through there.
Done. Area 1 complete. So we get some stats here. We're just gonna quickly run through there, really quickly. If you don't hold down the X button, you just take a leisurely stroll through that section. And now we're headed into Area 2. So this one is differently visually. Every single level is slightly different. The beginning will always start with like this set of ships basically coming in slowly at you to ease you into the level. And of course, all the music themes also follow the same type of flow. So, oh, there it is. So the music builds on itself, adding more beats, getting more intense as time goes on, and also the vibration on the controller itself also does that too. Go. There's quite a few enemies here. We want to take out these ships and hopefully not have something fly at us. There we go. And we want to take out these as quickly as possible so that we can end up with the network key to the next section. There it is.
I just love how much I'm learning about what goes on inside computers. Like, I went to college for computer science, and I'm learning so much today. It's amazing.
Right? This has big reboot vibes for me. I loved that show growing up. It's actually Canadian also, which is cool.
Shoutouts to Canada.
Yeah.
There's something about it that also has the same energy as those, like, bowling alley cutscenes when you get a strike.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally.
You're so right.
That's amazing.
It's like the Silver Angela flies in. Strike.
Perfect. Okay. I haven't really used my overdrive really yet. We will be using it in the next boss fight. Just to kind of speed things up. What my overdrive does is it will attack every single enemy on the screen for a period of like 5 seconds, I believe. Really handy if you are in a tight situation and need to not get hit.
The overdrive does have some limitations, though. It might not necessarily destroy every enemy that is coming at you. It'll do a lot for you, but it is not 100% effective all the time. You do have to time when you use it and where you use it, so that way it can do what it does best.
Definitely. There we go. Yeah, I think also there's a distance related quirk to it as well, where if the element is too far away, it won't hit it. It'll tend to target things that are closer to you. We'll see an example of this later on in one of the later bosses, because it is a thing there. Okay. There we go. So those ships are a little nasty. They like to make these shields all over the place. And if you can either destroy the ship in the center, or you can destroy all the shields to take it out.
Those enemies in particular really remind me of the gummy ship segments from Kingdom Hearts. They're just so modular and good. This level in particular is really cool. You might be wondering if these stalactites and stalagmites have collision, and the answer is no. They are purely aesthetic, and I love that.
Yeah, that's the only level that kind of looks like that too, and I really like that. It's really unique. Okay, so these guys will shoot missiles, and they're very quick about it. And they take a lot of hits to take out, so I'm just going to rapidly fire on them instead of doing a charge shot. Go. Managed to avoid some of those. So the larger enemies tend to fire missiles. Not all of them. And some smaller enemies will fire missiles as well. But it's always best to take out the largest enemy on the map, because it's probably the most dangerous. And we just leveled up again.
Nice. This is my favorite form. This is the yoga posing one. Or as I like to say, me moderating chat.
I like how we get our own little orb in this pose, too.
Yeah, it's so good.
I love the multiple lasers.
I've just been bouncing in my chair this entire run, by the way. I should know that. I think I'm the only one either.
Yeah. It's
These
so
rails
good.
are so aesthetic.
Right? I love how as things get, you know, seemingly harder and more chaotic, it just looks more beautiful. So as an outside observer, it's like, this is really cool and exciting to watch. And I'm glad I'm not the person who has to deal with all of the things on screen. I just get to watch them go by.
The nice thing about those tracks is that the enemies travel along them, so it's a bit easier to predict where to shoot for those ones. Even though they do take a while to take out.
Do enemies normally move randomly, or are their tracks just invisible so it's harder to be precise?
Yeah, their tracks are more, it's more that you kind of, they do have a specific pattern that they will take, but it's also dependent on, like, if you miss cycles or if you don't end up hitting all the enemies as to whether the key will spawn right away or not. And we're heading into another boss fight here. So this is Mars Giga, which has quite a few phases, actually. A lot of the phases are the same, but this is the core right here, and it's flying into its mech suit, which is just basically a bloomin' onion.
Well, now I'm hungry.
Right? So there's all these claws here that are firing missiles. We want to avoid those missiles, but we're just mainly rapid firing on the claws themselves so that they can't fire them. This section's really cool. I really like this aesthetically.
Yeah, stylistically, this is so unique and different from everything else in the game that it's a little sad that they don't play with this more.
Absolutely.
It looks like we're lockpicking.
Yeah. That's basically what we're doing as a hacker. We're just an advanced lockpicker.
That's
Digital
true.
lockpicker, yeah.
That does fit thematically with the whole hacker thing. I do love how every game does lockpicking just a little bit differently. This is one of the more creative ones I've seen, though.
Yeah. This should be the end of this. There we go. Okay. Next phase. You'll also notice that on the left hand, another thing about the interface. First of all, there's a boss meter at the top that you can see. You'll notice I haven't actually taken any health off the boss yet because we haven't been able to attack the core. But we should be able to in this next section because the core is going to fly out of its hiding spot here, and then we're going to unleash an overdrive to rapidly fire on it. You'll notice its health going down, and then we're just going to sit here and fire after that, and we've hit the next phase. So that just makes things a lot quicker. This one is a little scary. These mines will start spewing out of these branches. Oh, and you have to kind of hit the yellow glowing points at the end of them to prevent that from happening. And this is where it gets really scary because they like to spawn right in front of you.
This is so cool. It's like taking the concept of a core as a command center, and it looks like it's branching off neurons as if it has a brain.
Yeah, it's super cool. The themes, that's probably intentional. I would not be surprised.
Talked really about that res theme, like some of the symbology and everything. That's really cool.
Okay, so I missed a mine there. So we just leveled down. It doesn't matter how many health bars you have, you automatically just level down to the next form regardless. But it shouldn't be too hard to get back up as long as we don't take any more damage because it'll only take like 2 healths to get us back to that other one. There we go. Okay, so this is the last form here. We want to start shooting on it, and then we're going to use another overdrive. Let's fire charge shots at it rapidly. It's going to start moving. Hopefully we can take it out before it starts spewing too many mines at us. There we go. Perfect.
Nicely done.
Very well done.
Thank you. That ending part can get really nasty if you don't have overdrive. It basically will start just dropping mines that slowly fly towards you and blow up and explode. And it shoots like 6 of them out at a time, so that's enough to kill you if you're not careful. Because if you go down to the lowest form possible, you just game over at that point. So we're trying to avoid that. It can happen very quickly, though. Okay. That's probably the easiest level to activate the key. It's just like 1 row of ships.
That's my kind of hacking. That's about what I think I can handle.
Okay. I mean, you'll notice the designs are also kind of different aesthetically every level. There's a lot of, like, those ships are, like, almost bird-shaped.
Those ones remind me of, like, prawns, almost.
Yeah, kind of.
So now we have bloomin' onion, prawns. Anyone else want to let us know what they're having for dinner tonight? Oh, this one was very Matrix-inspired-y.
There we go. Okay, that leveled up again. Okay, so this one is... That enemy's a little scary. Reminds me... I don't know why. It reminds me of, like, Majora's Mask. We'll see more of them. They have, if you don't fire on them fast enough, they shoot out about 8 missiles at a time. Difficult to dodge. Series of ships. We're gonna try to hit as many as we can there.
This level's weird because there's so much camera movement, and yet you have to keep track of all of the individual rockets being shot out, which ships are there, how dangerous they are, and so Crime is doing a lot of judgment calls here on the fly. It's really impressive to see.
Definitely, thank you. There's also the thing that, especially in this level, a thing I have to watch out for is as you're grabbing the security key and hacking through to the next area, it is possible for you to get hit in that section if you didn't take out the enemy, because the missile will come towards you and you're kind of locked into place already moving into the next section. So you just want to make sure that if you see any of them, like, start to fire, you're like, nope, nope. Squash that immediately. Rapidly fire on these. You're also 1 health away from getting the next form, which should be exciting. I saw that ship just fire off a bunch of missiles, but I think that we got pulled into the next sequence fast enough that it's not going to be a problem. Seems like it. Okay. Cool. So we just grabbed those 2 health bits, and now we are Orb.
I hope you've been pondering.
I really like the sound effects with this one. Yeah, go ahead.
Would you love the enemies if they were worm?
I think I would. I think these enemies are super cool.
They're very cool. I love them a lot. I think the way that the color palette is in this level, the way they stand out against the background is very approachable, because there's a lot of visual noise, right?
Yeah.
But the fact that they're like salmon colored or bright pink or bright purple on this green backdrop lets them stand out in a way where you can still track things very efficiently.
Mm-hmm, definitely. Huge fan of the background of this level. It reminds me of like those arcade floors like
yeah.
that you would see in like the carpet. Yeah. There we go.
It's giving airport walkway.
Yeah, yeah.
Moving walkways at airports are unironically one of my favorite things in life. My favorite level.
I'm a huge fan of them as well. I'm always upset when they're out of order.
Right?
Just because I like riding them.
Normal?
I know.
At an airport, for goodness sake. I'm already having a travel day. Give me something to time me over here.
Oh, I saw the key there. Go ahead.
Are there any indicators for where enemies are going to pop out of, or do you just kind of have to know?
Kind of have to know, just from playing it a whole bunch. The general sequences of enemies will be the same, unless you happen to like miss a whole bunch of them and then it forces you into like the next cycle. But there's actually, there is like actually a list of like which enemies you should and should not hit to get the most optimal and fast route. This game's community is actually like largely a Japanese community. And so only recently, I joined the Discord and I was like, hey, are there any resources? And they're like, hey, we can translate some stuff for you so you can, get into the game. And I thought that was super, super nice. They've already translated the first level to kind of give a guide for it. And I'm looking forward to learning the ins and outs of all the other levels as well.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love when speedrunning communities are so supportive like that.
Yeah, totally. So we're fighting Venus. Okay, so this is my least favorite boss. I might get knocked out of this form. But it has this moving barrier here. You want to be careful not to get hit with any of the lasers, because like I said, it will knock you out of this form. There's 2 different types of lasers. Some are green, blue, and some are red. The green-blue ones shoot right in front of you, and the red ones, oh, that was very close, will shoot at a 45-degree angle, 2 different beams. So it can get you if you're not careful. And these pieces kind of move around the structure, defending the internal core.
As you might notice, Crime has to shoot each laser, regardless of what color it is, twice in order for it to be destroyed, and they will pretty much respawn within a very quick time frame. She has a full bar of overdrive, so in case it gets overwhelming, she does have that at her disposal. But, like I mentioned earlier, timing is important, placement is important, and so if she's gonna use that resource, she needs to do it efficiently.
Definitely.
Luckily, it looks like she doesn't need to. That was really well played.
Thank you. This next part's a little complicated. You'll notice these boxes are kind of spawning out of this building. That's what we want to aim at here. Not all of these flying enemies that will come out at us. So the camera tries to pull you away from it because it wants you to attack the enemies. But we're just going to force the camera back. But we also want to not get hit by some of them. There's different colors of enemies there. Some are the purple and the red ones we want to watch out for, mainly.
So, Crime mentioned that this is a very nature-inspired game. These enemies, they're very bird-like, but I want you to know they are called fish. The G fish, which you would think would be green, right? They're the yellow ones. They only take 1 hit to defeat. The R fish are the red ones. Plot twist, they take 2 hits each. And then the B fish are the purple ones. They take 8 hits each. You generally want to ignore them unless they are right on you and causing direct problems to you. And of course, Crime did that magnificently.
So to make this a lot easier, we are just going to do overdrive because I have the overdrive available. There's these locks on the bottom of the cylinder that you want to shoot out. They'll spawn in a second. You'll see them pop up right now. But we're just going to use overdrive to take everything out because we don't want to deal with losing our form or the flying debris that can do damage to you. This should take us about 3 tries, so this next one will be the last one here. Perfect. And done. That was actually a really good Venus fight.
Yeah, that was very well played.
I kept my form the entire time. I did not get hit. That was perfect. That is my least favorite boss. It's a very difficult one. So that was great. We'll be heading into the final level now, though. Coming up here. Oh, final level for our any percent run, at least.
You might be wondering, dear viewer, why Area 5 is not part of the NE% run. It's about the same length as the other 4 areas combined. It is ridiculously long. It's a boss rush. It has some really cool features to it that, if you have access to the game, I recommend you explore. But when we're considering like efficient speedrunning, it's just not conducive to include that in the run.
Absolutely. And this game, I'm playing this on PS2. It originally came out on PS2 and Dreamcast, and I actually do have a copy of it because when I got my PS2, I decided to get as many rhythm games as I possibly could, because I love rhythm games, and I'm very glad I have a copy of this one. But this game has also come out recently on PC within the last few years as Res Infinite. It is the same game, it's a remaster. With like updated textures, and they also add an entirely new level called Area X, and they also added VR support, so it's definitely worth picking up and playing if you get a chance and if you're enjoying watching this. Okay, so I'm firing rapidly at the center, the core of these ships. They're going to start spawning a bunch of enemies, but we're going to ignore them. Only looking down when we have to avoid getting hit by a missile. Which, there's a sound effect for him, it's a little ping noise. There we go.
Speaking of sound effects, I love the little wub when you fire in this form. It's
yes.
So satisfying.
Yeah, it is so good. Okay, this part's a little bit scarier. There's these guys that kind of look like bats, but they'll be firing missiles. I'm gonna try to avoid getting hit by as many of them as I can.
Now, you might be wondering why this is a problem. Crime's been dealing with missiles the whole game. These ones are homing missiles. So while the other ones do have pathing and they are aimed at you generally, they are much easier to avoid. These ones you have to take out.
This is also a really cool enemy. I really like these guys. You have to basically destroy all the nodes on them so that they don't lock together, but if they do happen to lock together, you have to redestroy all the nodes because they respawn. And if you happen to crash into any of those, you go down a level.
I'm impressed at how many different types of enemies there are in this game. My
Right.
hero was like this early on, like PS2 is, I'm not gonna have a few things and they'll just recolor them, and no, they've got a whole bunch of different geometric shapes trying to blow you up. This is really cool.
Geometry's scary. That's what I'm
It
learning from
is.
this run.
Just picture my geometry teacher. Now you're gonna need to know sine, cosine, and tangent in case you ever need to infiltrate a computer that's somewhat sentient to blow up a bunch of enemies. I think I would have paid more attention actually if that was the pitch for it.
Right?
True.
That first one joined so fast. I'm glad you told us what was happening.
Yes. Yeah, there's also, I don't know if it was this one, at some point, it might have been that one. Depends on the spawning, how everything spawns. But one of them, you can end up knocking the key behind the shield, and then you have to, like, make sure you take out the shield before you can proceed through the next level.
Oh wow, that's so rude.
Yeah. Okay,
It's such a fast level.
It is.
Okay, this is the final level before the final boss fight of this run. You might see some of the greatest hits of earlier stages here. A wide variety of enemy types are going to be represented. So enjoy one last look at polygons.
Go.
I love how this being a rhythm game, the remix stage makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Okay, so this is Uranus. This is the final boss. Many different phases. And a lot of moving the camera around with the reticle.
I promise it's worth it though, because some of the forms this boss takes are ridiculous and cool. This first form here has a UFO-shaped item at the center of a cube NATO. It's going to assume a wide variety of shapes, and it's also going to throw ninja stars at us. So, we have to focus on the central point, the main body of the craft itself. We're not entirely sure if damaging the cubes do anything besides getting them out of the way, but it sure is beautiful to knock them out.
Certainly. Oh, wow. Oh my goodness, there was a missile there that almost got me. It was like underneath me, I barely saw it.
But it didn't, because you got skills.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm just like getting more and more excited the more cubes are on screen.
Yeah, right?
This is just ridiculous, but it's so cool.
I ended up, actually, I didn't need that. It's fine. Okay. There's actually these, switches you can hit along this level that will allow you into sections that, actually, yeah, we ended up above it. That kind of put you out of the path of the boss, so if you need to duck into a corner because you're getting overwhelmed, you can do that. But they're not super frequent throughout the level. Oh. This is what I was talking about, having to go back and forth with the camera. Sometimes it's chasing you, sometimes you're chasing it.
Right now it's asking the bold question of whether you would love it still if it were one. It's also asking us to ponder orb. There's going to be an even cooler form that's coming up after this cycle with the pink blocks. There it is!
There it is!
The Running Man!
I wasn't sure
so
if I believed
cool.
you, because I think it's hard to beat Cube NATO, but you think you got it. This is something else.
They're schmoovin'. Look at them go.
Yeah, we're using overdrive right now to take out some of the cubes there.
I like how earlier on in the game we were a running person taking out orbs, and now the roles have been reversed.
Exactly.
Orb is hunting you down.
And now it's chasing us! The chased becomes the chaser.
I can't keep up with this many plot twists.
So time will end at the end of this fight when Uranus explodes. It's gonna be at the end of the health bar here, coming up pretty soon. This has been a phenomenal fight.
We're using, we're now a different running person here, different shapes, not cubes anymore. Oh, that was fast. Wow, that was, time will be on explosion here, right now. Time. That, I didn't even have to do the final phase there.
Let's go! GG, that was amazing.
I'm actually very curious as to what my time is once you can see that, because that felt pretty decent.
33:56.
That is a PB by several minutes.
Congratulations!
Real quick, I'm so sorry. I do have to say we did start the timer late. So that is not actually your correct final time. We had an issue with the timer at the beginning.
Okay.
This was still an incredible run, so I don't want to like.
Awesome. Okay. Yeah. My PB currently in this is high 35. So.
Oh, then yeah, you're still looking pretty good.
I think that's pretty good. We'll check it afterwards though. But oh my goodness, that was amazing. Thank you both for being here for that. That was super cool.
I'm so glad I got to see that.
The honor's all mine. This was incredible. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Folks, I'm Metroid Crime. If you want to see this game and other games that I speedrun, you can check me out on twitch.tv/MetroidCrime. I stream during the week, except for Wednesday during the day and into the evening. Speedrun this, I speedrun Curse Crackers, Neon Beats, etc. Lots of good variety of games, not just rhythm games. Yeah. BigScared, where can we find you?
I live on the Twitch as twitch.tv/BigScared. And in other parts of the internet as BigScared or I'm BigScared with no punctuation or spacing. You can catch me around here, around Binary Breakers, around the Clock Tower. I'm kind of all over the place.
Awesome. And yeah, if anyone is interested in learning how to play this game, just, send me a message, send me a DM on Discord, send me an email, whatever you want. I have a guide written and I can share it. I'm working on making it more presentable for everyone so that people can get into it. But yeah, just let me know and I'd be happy to teach you the game. But I believe that's all from me. Char, take it away.
Well, thank you so much for that incredible showcase. Had an absolute blast. Was, again, bopping the entire time. So glad we got to see this. But I have good news. This is not the end of Lady Arcader's showcases for today. We have a second showcase coming up in just a little bit. That will be Dicey Dungeons with Selkuth Mine. So we'll take a quick break. Great time to refill and hydrate after all that action. I know, again, you're dancing around like me, maybe grab some electrolytes. We'll be back soon, so don't go anywhere.